Hello, I'm Full Paragon, and this is your guide to EX Arena featuring the Black Kraken. The Kraken is a defense-focused EX Arena, which means you get more points the less damage you take. It will deal mostly normal physical damage to your party, and it is immune to all debuffs, which means no agility down, no defense down. It will use binds on your party, and it can be hazed or poisoned. It's usually not worth it to go for poison, but haze can be good as it will increase your score by reducing damage. Last, the Kraken will always focus the first adventurer in your party, so it's advisable to have someone who's quite tanky or able to heal themselves there. Even though this is a defense-focused arena, most of your points still come from how much damage you deal, so it's better to build towards DPS than sheer tankiness. Wiz is much less effective than she might appear at first glance. Her self-heal is still good, but your score is increased by taking less damage, not by healing it, so her self-heal isn't as important. And her ultimate will not be able to inflict any debuffs, so make sure you use the first version rather than the second. Darkness can be okay in this arena, as her ability to reduce the boss's damage can help boost her score. However, it's probably not as effective as using other strategies that simply focus on dealing more damage. Leah, however, is quite good, as her second ultimate has a damage cut, which can really help out with your score, as well as providing agility for more DPS. My first suggestion for a team is an all-out damage team using Christmas Wiz to deal lots of damage to the boss, as well as keeping herself topped off. I included Leah in this team, as the damage cut will help boost your score, and that agility is great, and will help Wiz keep herself healthy. Union is there to provide not only more agility buffs, but this boss is vulnerable to poison, so Halloween Union would be a pretty good pick. And of course, her ultimate still provides that valuable tier 3 magic attack buff. You can use other unions here, just remember that as the boss is immune to debuffs, unions like Academy Union won't be as effective. Next, we have Aru. Make sure you use the first ultimate instead of the second, as that tier 3 magic defense down is totally wasted here. I picked Snow Aru, as she can haze the boss, which again, he's vulnerable to and could further increase your score. And last we have Rin, as she's simply the best of the standard mages that we could put into this team. This team doesn't really concern itself with reducing damage so much as it does with dealing as much damage as possible to get a high score. And because it's a defense arena, I couldn't resist Here's Some Darkness memes. First, I think Swimsuit Darkness will probably be the go-to here. She's the best at mitigating physical damage. You could also use Original Darkness here, but I wouldn't try and use Christmas Darkness or Onsen Darkness, as they're better at reducing magic damage and this boss is mostly physical. I'd use her second ult here, as it's able to provide a damage cut, which is of course better, and a tier 3 physical attack buff. Because of that buff, I think you could use Iris alongside her. Her second ultimate will provide some healing to keep her alive. And of course, Iris just deals a lot of damage. I also included Chris. We're going to use her second ultimate, as the first ultimate's debuff won't do anything, and Snow Chris just has the potential for a lot of physical damage. In case Darkness falls, we have Mitsurugi, as he's able to shield himself from a little bit of damage, thanks to his tanky nature. And last, of course, we have Leah. You could probably swap her and Mitsurugi around, but either one of them are going to be a fairly decent option if you go in for a physical Darkness team. My last suggestion for a team is a welfare team, leading off with Leah. Again, that damage cut on her ult is just fantastic in this arena. And next to her we have Snow Erica, who is another welfare who has pretty good damage potential, as well as a tier 3 attack buff on her ult. CeeLo would be in slot 3. The welfare CeeLo provides a tier 2 physical defense buff, which can further increase your score. Then we have Light Mitsurugi. He's a pretty great tank, and of course he still has that tier 3 damage buff. And last but not least is Iris to come in for some last second burst, as well as having a fairly decent physical defense baked in. That's the video, thanks for watching. In EX Arena, there's a lot of other viable team options you could go for, such as using Amelia and the tier 3 physical defense buff on her ultimate to keep your team safe and get yourself a 10-star score. Let me know if there's other teams you've experimented with that got you a top score in this arena, and come back soon for more Konosuba Fantastic Days videos and guides.